Will be unveiling the affordable houses in Kisumu tomorrow. We were meant to have Senior Counsel Professor Tom Ojenda, who's meant to be part of a panel today, but of course he got a call that he has to be in Kisumu. So he's en route right now to Kisumu.
You see, Dibal, the point I wanted to raise with you is this, and I've listened to very many of my colleagues who try to sit with us and tell us, say, you people, why is it that you're always criticizing the government? And in fact, according to them, we have never appreciated what the government has done. Dibal, I'm not a street vendor. I'm not an ordinary person who walks around town doing nothing. I'm a senior member of parliament, Mheshimiwa Kabando, I'm now a senator. If you ask me today how many houses the government has built, I don't know. If you ask me who has the titles to that properties they're building, I don't know. When you go and look at the auditor's report, 59 billion shillings has been collected from the time when this story came up. So the fact that you have got 200 houses being built in Kisumu, I went and saw there was another batch being done in Kapsabet, and of course these ones which were launched the other day here in Nairobi, these ones of Nairobi, in fact people who are there, they even produced the receipts, have shown that those were houses that were being done by Uhuru. So what we are saying is simple. Whether it is the university funding, you check the software, you find that is a system that has been designed for people to make money. When you go to medical, whether it is SHA or SHIF, whatever they call it, when you go and check the software, people are just trying to make the money. When you look at what is happening right now in terms of even the historical issues, go to Mumias, go to Chemelil, look at Nzoia. You hear state land is being taken, the owners are not being consulted, the stakeholders are irrelevant. I mean, these wonderful things that the administration says they're doing, why can't you do them without stealing public money? I mean, this is what baffles all of us. Why is it that every single transaction that the government want to implement, whether it is a project, whether it is, you see now, they are saying that the new stadium which is being built. Talanta. That Talanta thing already, it was supposed to have been done at 1.5 billion shillings. Look at how much money it's done as we speak. It's at 9.6 B. Okay? Then they have gone and taken over Ngong Forest because somebody has a business interest because they want to go and put a hotel there, whole cottages. Pause. You know, those people, if they're in the office of the president, please go and set that damn thing in Mandera because the land is there. That's where Kenyans want to go and visit. Why are you destroying the forest? What is it with us? I mean, how much land does an individual need? How many houses can you live in?
No, but
okay, you want to invest. Gosh, you have.
But why in the forest?
Yeah, why in the forest?
Why destroy the forest? A country which is renowned. We had a Nobel laureate from this country. We have UN Habitat. A Nobel laureate who came from this country, Wangari Maathai, for the environment. Now we're working deliberately to destroy the environment. Do they know the impact of the destruction of the environment on human beings and the future of this country? Why in the forest? Exactly like Senator Nyonka said, build a fantastic hotel in northern Kenya, in Turkana, on Lake Turkana, in Marsabit. Beautiful places.
In Garissa.
Where you have found nowhere but to come into the forest on the, next to the highway, the dual carriageway. Who are these people?
You understand our frustrations.
We appear angry.
Yeah, you look, it's palpable.
If you are not angry, then you are mad. If you are not angry with the things that are going on.
Because we love our country. Because we believe in the national anthem. Oh God of all creation, bless this our land and nation.
Justice be shield our defender. And then we are abducting kids and killing them.
You have 100 advisors, but the people who are distributing hundreds of millions every weekend in the so-called Harambes are people who are illiterate, and I'm not accusing those who do not have good education, but I'm saying we have a choice. When you become a leader of a country like Kenya,
get a consultant.
You get good people. I know we'll be accused of favoring people who we know, but look at the cabinet of Jomo Kenyatta. It had the best from Kisii, Sagini and Onyonka. It had the best from Coast, Matano and Mwamunga. It had Dr. Munyo Yaki.
Your people went to school.
If you went to Kisumu, it had Jaramogi.
You had Dr. Robert Ouko.
You had Robert Ouko, you had Tomboya. In fact, I have this that I'm going to give to you this book. It's written by the Kenya Editorial Board. It's called Kenyatta Cabinet. Then there is Moi Cabinet. Moi, there are 2 volumes because he was there for a longer time. And then there are Kibaki Cabinet. And Kibaki was very hesitant to sign that one before he went because he did not want anything named after him or talked about him in praise and all that. They surround themselves with very good and intelligent people. Even relatively, if you look at the people Moi groomed, with all his limitations, there were people.
My father was at
under Moi. When I was in the University of Nairobi, 1990 to 1993, 94, our chairman of the council was Dr. Rulen Sagini, a graduate of Stanford. The Minister for Foreign Affairs was a graduate from Scotland. Another minister from Stanford again. Then you had Mwai Kibaki, top of his class in the London School of Economics.
London School of Economics.
If you remember, before I met him, I call him the son of my father because I used to hear from my age mate how his father, in his constituency, he used to go to school. Even in his last days, he was ailing, was with a walking stick, but he was still a minister. He would stand, lean on the wall, speak for like an hour to students in a class, spell-binding speech about statistics, economy, the country's fortunes, Africa continent,
the opportunities.
So on. But today, look at what was happening in Limuru. What was happening in Kakamega the other day? What was happening in El Marakwet? Non-kings, or you can call them incompetent, are the ones who are controlling State House today. The stories about slapping in State House is not a myth, it's not a fiction. All right? They are the ones who are asking ministers, do this. Gazette notices of public appointments are being published without the ministers who are purportedly signing those gazette notices in knowledge. Do you know in the 1980s, appointment used to be made in a certain restaurant opposite the High Court, at the City Hall restaurant there, and another hotel next to City Hall, there was a corner where people would meet there, even write the judgment of the court, and even a public appointment, and you exchange money, and those delegations. I come from Ukraine, proudly associated with Odaya. 10 years of Mwai Kibaki presidency, Kibaki did not preside over a single Harambee. 10 years.
True.
From 2002 to 2013.
People never went to State House.
I was MP for Kibaki's in-laws because First Lady Lucy Kibaki came from Ukraine. Not a single day, God my witness, did I go to Kibaki to be given even 100 shillings for the 5 years, 08 to 2013, his last time that I was there. And one day Kibaki was driving around and people would ask whatever. He did not give handouts. But go to Odaya today, not courtesy of his reign as a president, his reign for public mobilization in the whole country, the Republic of Kenya. Odaya constituency has the best public schools in every village. High schools, secondary schools, they were not built by government. And I schooled in Odaya boys for my O-levels. And I saw Kibaki come to my school at 10 p.m., followed by John Keane and a few other people then. John Keane was as a minister. Public mobilization of people who have resources, causing foundations, giving scholarships. But today, every kid, women empowerment, border empowerment, where is that money coming from? Consolidated fund.
Yes.
It is not budgeted for. The deputy president is giving 10 million.
Yes.
And the other. And by the way, because I think I have spoken a lot here today, can I say there has been a disappointment in this country in the last 48 hours across the country that when something happened in Lari the other day, in Kabete the other day, with the deputy president presiding, the public refused to listen to the majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah. And it was unanimous, the whole crowd. The people they had bought and ferried came and refused to listen to their lies and bravado. No media station
reported
that, except I think one which is very vernacular. I think the call for some people that social media should be banned or controlled is by the realization that social media is indefatigable, indomitable, it is unstoppable, it is the one that we are going to use even ourselves to topple this government non-violently.
Thank you, thank you. We can see also time is really ticking away from us. Tomorrow is a big day. I think, Honorable Richard Onyonka, you hinted on it a bit with the IBC recruitment. The ruling is tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's been a challenge. So we are waiting at a very pivotal moment when we're talking about our democratic journey as a country.
Thank you.
This will be crucial. So I just wanted to maybe pick up your brains on the likely scenarios. What will be the outcome of that ruling tomorrow? Do you see in any way that the courts might decide to do away with the entire process of recruitment and we go back to the drawing board? Or, for the interest of time, because now we're on a critical, we have actually no time at all, right? When we're talking about IBC and the commissioners who are not in place, we are facing a constitutional crisis glaringly, looking at us if these people are not in place on time. So I just want us to get a picture of where we are at. What are the likely scenarios tomorrow?
I would like to say this. Again, you wouldn't want, counsel is here, I wouldn't want to discuss the merits and demerits of the case for the simple reason that it hasn't been pronounced. But I want to say this, Dibao.
The sub judice, yes.
Yes. If we are not going to agree, are we together?
Yes.
On a very simple principle. You are either going to agree that the marriage will work because it is not because you have signed a marriage certificate, that you must deal with the trust deficit issues, that you must be able to build confidence and make sure that the parties that are engaged in that relationship accept that if it succeeds, then they would have given it their best, or if it fails, they'll accept that. Are we together? So what is so difficult with organizing an election that is believable? What is it? I mean, everybody in government, and the most painful thing and experience I'm having right now, and I know my colleagues have seen this, is that the public service, which is people who work in government to advise the people in government, don't want to listen. Because most of them have been so cowed, and these individuals are supposed, for example, to advise the president. Already the advisors are 100. None of them actually advises him on anything because he knows everything. So where we are is that, and this is what some of us keep praying for, that we want people of good faith who are going to make sure that the basics, just the basic minimums, are put into place so that even when the elections is held, and it may have even a few challenges, it's believable and it's acceptable. We can do better than that, but I know that our standards now are so low and the corruption is so enormous, but there are certain basic things that I expect. If you pick a list of individuals that you're going to confirm, why don't you just confirm them within the law? If you pick individuals who you know, you want this fellow is going to be the chair. Sorry about my shirt. You know that this individual is the one we want to be the chair. You've taken him through the exercise. And then you have genuinely said that this is number one, number two, number three. The law says the president has a right to do that. Why don't you follow that?
Right. Let's say from Jennifer, just to give us also the likely scenarios of there's a court nullifying the IBC recruitment process entirely. The court also allowing vetting to continue with conditions, right? And also court dismissing petitions and uphold the recruitment. What are you reading from your tea leaves?
I think that this program for this evening, in a long, long time, is probably one of the best programs, not courtesy of us, but you people asking very pertinent, almost nowadays seemingly dangerous questions. Okay? Because I can feel the repression. I am the daughter of the Second Liberation. My father sat on the council of the Law Society of Paul Mwite which brought multi-party democracy to this country.
Country.
Yes,
I was there.
And then they were taken to arrested. Biggest mistake former President Daniel Arap Moi did, because we didn't have social media.
Yes.
Now in Shinyalu, everyone knew about Ford because my father had been taken and Shikuku had been taken, and it was spread. There is a mood in this country, and you cannot be in touch with it when you're high on or whiskey, I don't know, whatever, or those people in the French Revolution, if they're hungry, why don't they eat cake? Marie Antoinette, yeah? So they're so totally out of touch. I am very in touch with my workers. I ensure that they eat, the few workers I have, they will have breakfast and lunch, because probably the only meal they will get, so that more can eat at home. They're so out of touch that they don't know what's going on, and I think that if they're listening to us, they think we're the ones who smoked bungie or something. Nothing's going to surprise me. Nothing will surprise me. The Court of Appeal can do the Supreme Court can do what they want tomorrow. They can delay it. They can what? I don't have any. The place as an advocate, as where we call the Temple of Justice. If we can't go, because the executive can make a mistake, the legislature can make a mistake. It's in the end, I go to my Elohim. I call him Elohim because that's his name in Hebrew, and I pray to him. If one day he lets me down, then where will I go? That's the state we're at. Now. And I'm not talking from my own frustration. I have right now, you just come to the car. I've bought, those 3 socks you buy, we had stopped at Shell Hurlingham. A lady said, I'm begging you, buy these 3 socks. Maybe she bought them 100 for 200. I need to buy food for the children. I didn't need them. They're there. If I ask the stories in my maid, what's going on in Kangware, what's going on in Kibra, it's very, very dire.
Yeah, in fact, she's brought me, please allow me.
Yes.
I knew where they lived when we were young, all of us. We always saw people walking on foot from Kawangware coming to city center and going to industrial to work. And yes, I saw people walking on foot on this route going towards Thika. I saw people walking to Kibera on foot. You want to tell me, Dibal, even with the rains we are having, Nairobi City County and the national government cannot do a single tram which carries our people to work? A tram. And we need only 9 billion. You ask Sakaja, he tells you, with 9 billion, I can give Nairobi a tram from any place next to Nairobi. So what do you want these people to do?
Dibal, we celebrate Martin Luther King as a great speech maker, an evangelist, and a civil rights leader in the United States of America. And now, he is not the malcontent that the racist thought he was, just like they thought Mandela was a racist. We celebrate Mandela. What made Mandela? Let me give 3 examples of Mandela. Let me go to America, Martin Luther King, and let me even go to America again, JFK Kennedy. Yeah. Mandela was a pioneer lawyer with Oliver Tambo.
I thought you'll pick up Abe Lincoln.
No, okay. Now, Abraham Lincoln is an example of how you can fail 20 times and still become the person with authority to sign for Declaration of Civil Rights for people to be equal in America. Mandela was a pioneer lawyer with Oliver Tambo. But he was in jail for 27 years because he went to Omkuto Esinzwe. Because the racist apartheid regime made it impossible for non-violent, peaceful change. But eventually, the world recognized Mandela went to be a guerrilla leader because the channel for non-violent change were blocked. JF Kennedy, a dynasty from Massachusetts, and there is a family, including one now who is, I think, the Secretary for Health, said, when you make non-violence impossible, you push people to the cliff, to the edge. They will not go to the crocodile in the ocean. They will turn their back. and they use their hands to defend themselves. All right? Martin Luther King, you remember, he was shot, but he was shot in marches, peaceful marches. And many years later, even his children are being celebrated for the message of Martin Luther King. There is even a public holiday in America. What we should be asking ourselves, with a good constitution and the constitutional agencies for good governance, EACC for the anti-corruption, DCI for the criminal investigations, DPP for prosecutions, the judiciary for making judgments. You have a constitution that declares who should be in the cabinet as per Chapter 6 on leadership integrity. You have a constitution that says what are people's entitled to in Chapter 4 of Bill of Rights. But remember, all that when it fails, there is Article 1. The people are supreme.
All sovereign power.
What people don't know
the people of Kenya
is that some guys who are calling them chief cabinet secretaries are out of touch. Some guys who are calling themselves speakers are out of touch. Selected deputy president is out of touch. The head of the state is out of touch. The person I voted for is completely out of touch. And they're saying, we are not in government, but ministers are trooping to his office, whatever is happening. I'm telling you, when you have closed those doors, is what brought Gen Zs out. But now we are not anymore saying about Gen Zs. We are saying Gen Z Zote. We will not allow this country to fall because of an elite cronyism and a clique of political incompetents who are out of touch, who are political misfits, who are hell-bent to own the whole country.
We did it in 92.
Get the whole budget. I'm telling you, in 1997, we said no reforms, no elections, what they are saying in Tanzania. In 2027, we are saying we will not go to the election with an incompetent, compromised IBC. We are supreme. Wait what you see.
So what would you expect tomorrow?
Yeah?
Briefly, what do you expect tomorrow? Then you come to...
Whatever, like Jennifer said, whatever decision they make tomorrow...
Let it fly.
Let it fly, but the bottom line is that we shall not go to an election determined, orchestrated,
by them,
manipulated, white-mailed, and blackmailed,
by one side,
and ridiculed by one obnoxious absurdity.
So do you read that there was a sort of, should I say, a deliberate attempt to skew or...
Yes.
Yes.
Don't
yes.
finish, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, by the judiciary.
Yes.
With the intellectual propriety.
And we'll talk about it, not today, but after another election, because some of us have information on these things. Not that we work for CIA and whatever.
Even if you work
and even if we did so what and we had CIA friends. Okay, but by the time a Chief Justice Supreme Court judge is saying, those of you who are trying to call us, she made the admission. She made the admission, sorry we didn't take your calls. Why did she have to say it on national TV? Okay? But there will be more coming.
So what you are saying is...
This story will not break here in Kenya. It will break in another country.
Incompetent judges and judiciary officers go home. Incompetent guys who voted for Finance Bill 2024 go home. But incompetent executive...
go home. We stop for time. We just want to wind up. I was looking at it. Do you think maybe if you flip the coin, this was meant to put on a delaying tactic, right?
Yes, you see.
Yeah, from the panel of the recruiters there, the panel of led by Dr. Nelson, that you come and somewhat really interfere with the procedural propriety and bring the six later. That India, now you go to court and then we'll have this litigation going on and on and on for the longest time.
India has got 900 million voters. India has got 3 commissioners. The reason why the Indian election is successful and you don't have people killing each other is that they have basically the template they're using is believable. We are refusing to agree that for us to solve our political disputes, we need to have an arbitration, an arbiter that is going to be fair and square to whatever side. And then, because we've realized that we are not willing to fix the country, that is why we are deciding to say, Dibal, no. Now, Kabando, let me tell you what we do. You see now, when you go and win the elections, and I'm running against you and I become number 2, now let us even have a constitutional amendment so that number 1 and number 2 can form government. Why don't we do that? Why are we doing it through the back door? Secondly, the very structure of our constitution, the reason why our country is dysfunctional, and we've been singing this I've said this for the last 2 years, 3 years, is because CDF is the ATM machine that the executive uses to reward members of parliament for them to go like right now to the finance bill, and they're making amendments, including them wanting to access my details on my phone without any authority, agreeing for them to access my bank account so that they can squeal on it. They are willing, and they want to link up KRA and everything else with all my information without my authority.
Breaking news.
We've not even had public hearings on the matter. They are making amendments. So you have a country right now, and me,
but
I would like...
But the phone bugging, this is not the first attempt that we've had, even with this administration. Even in Kibaki's time, there was an attempt to have the phone bugging.
You see now.
Yeah? So
we are
it
today.
is not new with this.
Listen,
no.
We are today. And we are under this constitution. We also know Musado was killed in 2017. And we know other electoral officials were also killed. We also know what happened last year and last year but one. But we know that as much as we want to use the side mirror to look on the rear and see who is following us and where you're coming from, we want to focus on the windscreen screen more because we are looking ahead about the future, about the plans. Okay? And therefore, most important is what happens moving forward. You know, when the elections happened 2022, some refused to accept. Others, like myself, we agreed. We said, let's give this guy a chance. He has been elected. We had the deep state. We had the incumbent president, and so on and so forth. He is now in power. We are not attacking William Ruto because he is William Samoei Ruto from Sugoi. It is because he is the holder of the office of the president. And the people he has employed at the State House, those incompetent and illiterate. And the number of PhDs, like instead of having a PhD represent his scholarship, it is like PhD meaning permanent head damage. Because if you have like 50 of them in the council of advisors and you are doing anything wrong, these people need to be checked in the hand. Okay? And by the breaking news I was to give you is that I just sniped a little bit to my phone. And people from Nyeri are saying the messages that are coming here are percolating in every fallen village.
The messages that are coming where?
TV 47. Host such without inhibitions
TV47.
and without censorship, because those who are listening is what.
Thank you, Dibal. I was going to finish. I was going to give you my last word.
Yes, please.
Mheshimiwa Kabando, I want to say this. First of all, on your behalf, really, from a personal level, you know the journey I've traveled. I used to be with you trying to learn what to do on TV.
Yes,
I am
from AM Live.
Yes, from AM Live and the struggle and
the KTN.
You used to tell me your temper is a bit high. Punguza hiyo uzito wa Kisii. I want to say that
higher than mine.
I am so happy that this TV show has given you an opportunity.
Yes.
I think you're a brilliant young person.
Thank you.
Number two, even after, and I see this on my phone, so why do you keep complaining? First, that's my job. I have no money to go and spend anywhere, not even to bribe anybody. My job is to talk. Oversight is my job. Even this studio, if it was not cool the way it is, I would have oversighted you right here. That's my job. Finally,
yes.
I am so positive that Kenyans finally are beginning to understand that our country is not a basket case yet, that it can be fixed yet, that we can change course. And I pray like the way President William Ruto today was kneeling down and telling people how he needs to be forgiven and everything. How I pray and wish that he would seriously sit down and go through his Bible. If he doesn't get it, let somebody take him to the Quran. They translate for him nicely. They sit in a room with him. They tell him about mercy, how you forgive people, how you confess to God, how you treat your people, and he will govern very well. If he doesn't do that, all these young people out here in this country, they are ready. And they don't have to be violent. They are ready with their phones. They'll vote him out. And it will be very difficult for him to rig an election. Kenyans are saying we can do better than we have done.
A message of hope, young people out there listening to this inaugural program hosted by our gallant Debal, TV47, is that everything is not gone. All is not lost. There is hope on the eastern horizon, because optimism, like in Romans chapter 5, verse 5, that hope does not disappoint us. And like in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 to 10, we can be crushed, we are not finished. We can be beaten, we are not dead. We are pushed away, but we have not disappeared. We want to give you hope. There are still some of us, and very many of us, from all the ethnic communities of Kenya, from all the 47 counties of Kenya, 290 constituencies, in villages, spoken and unspoken heroes, gallant patriots, who are ready to work with you young people to do a constitutional overthrow of the ruling elite, those who are in opposition and those who are in government, who are betraying the cause of Constitution of Kenya 2010. We are ready. Some of us can never be bought.
Thank you.
And because this regime is incorrigible, irredeemable, it cannot change, the Waterloo is approaching, and we are ready.
They are seeking forgiveness. Forgiveness has
we have refused to forgive them.
Thank you for this wonderful evening, and I'm honored, Debal, to be here for a very, very, very powerful moment and a very enlightening, almost spiritual moment for me. And it is true, the depression of the people of Kenya, I never imagined in my years that I would see something like this after 1992 and the multi-party democracy. But I know that by the prayers and the wisdom of the one we pray to, because all power lies with him, the Almighty Elohim, it shall be well, and we shall see with our eyes the punishment of the wicked.
Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate Jennifer Shamala joining us this evening as well, Kobando, and Richard Onyonka. I thank you for graciously consenting to be part of this inaugural show. I really do appreciate. And we want to wind up on that particular matter. I know they've been dropping verses. Today has been, Bible verses being dropped, heavily and rolling off the tongue as well. But also just from the Bible itself, it says that hope deferred makes the heart sick. Right? And I know Kenya, they're keeping the hope, and we will continue to keep the hope as well. All is not lost. Of course, even with the current administration, there's some good that we can pick up as well, even as people decry that which is on the other side of the track. Thank you so very much for your valid company. As always, they say, in essentials, unity; in non-essentials, liberty; in all things, charity. Let us hound together on what is essential. Thank you very much. May you have a restorative night. My name is Debal Nair. See you next Wednesday.